Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Friday, March 29th, NBA slate. It is a full slate today after only the two games yesterday. We are a little late getting this out here, but we will get everything rolling here, get you all of the bets that we have going on, as we have way too many as usual. That's why we like it. We're a volume better. There's a lot of things we like. It ends up being profitable more days than not. That is for sure. So a little 81 unit yesterday in the two games on the NBA, almost 47 units on the Sweet 16, four games. So let's get into the madness here. First game up, we're going to get Magic Clippers. Clippers on the road favored by one. I don't know how they can be favored anywhere. Currently, the way they've been playing. Now, the Magic have absolutely dog sucked the last couple games, not going to lie. It's because of the three-point shooting. When they shoot threes well, they win. When they don't, they lose. Pretty simple as that, especially with the way everybody's been swallowing the whistles. The Magic lived at the free throw line for the first half of the season. That has not been the case. Banchero's not getting all the calls as he does drive to the hoop a lot. I think these guys have to realize that they're, pass the ball or take the contact and figure out how to finish, not just all of a sudden get hit and throw the ball up. I think the whole league's going to have to realize what's going on here. I'll be really honest with you. I'd rather see the fouls. I don't want to see guys get beat up. This is supposed to be an offensive game, and we've turned it into a version of the late 90s. Nobody watched. I don't know anybody that really enjoyed basketball games played in the mid 80s to 90s on a particular note. On that one there. A lot more threes in this game compared to then, but the scoring has went absolutely south. Now, the books have seemed to adjust to most of this, so there are a lot lower totals than what we saw earlier in the season, that is for sure. But let's get to this Clippers Magic matchup. Clippers do turn the ball over a lot. Magic are great at creating turnovers. Not a very good matchup in my eyes for the Clippers. They continue on this road trip. They were the hottest team in the NBA for a couple months, and now one of the coldest, especially when it comes to against the number. We are going to take the Magic in this one. We do like what the Magic offer. We also like the over in this one. This line has moved, though. It did open around 209 when we got it yesterday, up to 212.5. So do be wary of that. I don't think this is going to be like in the 220s, but it could get to 220. So we'll go through the bets here. Magic money line, first quarter, first half, and game. We're also going to take over 51.5 first quarter, over 102.5 first half, over 209 for the game. Kawhi Leonard under 22.5 points. Kawhi has struggled to score here recently. We do like Franz Wagner, though, over 17.5 points, 20-plus points. He's a guy that can get his offense, whether they're calling fouls or not. So over 17.5, 20-plus points, over 25.5 par. And then we'll take Zubac under 8.5 rebounds, as he's been struggling to rebound the ball. There should be a lot of missed shots in this game, especially on the Clippers side, so we'll take Banchero for the 7-plus rebounds, and then Harden for the patented 3-plus turnovers. Now, we have got beaten on that bet here in the last few games. It's something, though, I think we got to continue to play. Maybe we play it at less units on that one, but Harden will go back to it. And like I mentioned before, the Magic do turn you over probably more than any other team in the NBA. So one more time in this Magic Clippers matchup, Magic money line, first quarter, first half, and game. Over 51.5 first quarter, over 102.5 first half, over 209 for the game. Kawhi Leonard under 22.5 points. Wagner, that's the Franz version, over 17.5 points, 20-plus points, and over 25.5 par. Zubac under 8.5 rebounds. Banchero 7-plus rebounds, and Harden 3-plus turnovers. Next game up on the board, Lakers at the Pacers. This game, they just did play this game, these two, in LA. I believe this game was well into the 250s plus. If I'm not mistaken, I think I might have reached 290. I'll have to double check the numbers on that one. I thought it was like 150, 145, something to that effect. Pacers favored by 4. Line has moved. It is up to, total has moved. It is up to 243.5. In that one, it did open around 241. I think 240.5, and we caught it at 241. We do like the over here. Not really going to pick a side. I don't like the Pacers as a favorite right now. They're just not putting off that vibe. I think they're going to need maybe how to tweak this with Siakam and Halliburton and their guys. And I think Benedict Mathurin being out for the season really did hurt this team as it gave them another slasher. They got a couple other guards that can't really shoot. It's mainly their forwards. So maybe getting rid of Buddy Hield really kind of condensed the floor a little bit because you took away a three-point shooter and he added Siakam, a guy that doesn't really necessarily shoot a bunch of threes. Now all of a sudden we've condensed the floor, made it a lot easier, I think, for defenses to kind of, focus in on him. And then Halliburton has not been shooting the three nearly as well since his hamstring injury before the All-Star break. So we will take the over, though, in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. In this one, the Lakers, when they are on the road, they tend to have a lot of over games. So Pacers-Lakers over 62.5 first quarter, over 125.5 first half, over 241 for the game. Anthony Davis, 25-plus points, over 42.5 par, and 3-plus blocks. And then a bunch of Aaron Nesmith, over 12.5 points, 15-plus points, 3-plus threes, 4-plus threes, and over 19.5 par. So one more time in this Pacers-Lakers matchup, over 62.5 first quarter, over 125.5 first half, over 241 for the game. AD, 25-plus points, over 42.5 par, and 3-plus blocks. Aaron Nesmith for the Pacers, over 12.5 points, 15-plus points, 3-plus threes, 4-plus threes, and over 19.5 par. Next game up on the board, Hornets and the Warriors. Warriors currently laying 13 in Charlotte. The line has moved. The total's moved on this one, too, all the way up to 220. If you're wanting to bet some overs, folks, I'm going to make a suggestion that you check out our Google Sheets early or try to hop on the lines the day before, as a lot of times the move now, it can go the other way, obviously, but the line tends to move quite a bit during the day, especially if there's no injury report or anything like that. A lot of it goes to the over, especially with these low totals that have been going out. So the line's currently 219 or 220. I wouldn't go too much over 220. I'll put it to you that way. I'm not as confident in that number there, but still like the 220. You can also bet an alternate line if you want to take the over. You can bet it. You're going to pay a little bit more juice, but you can do that as well. Warriors have been playing, that Magic game was sloppy, and that Heat game was sloppy the game before. The Hornets are not going to put up that kind of defensive pressure that they got in the last two games. So see some scoring on that side. Maybe they laxed a little bit on the defensive side, allow Charlotte to score. Charlotte did kind of tear it up against the Cavs in the last game out. Brandon Miller had a nice game for sure on that one. They hit a lot of three balls, so we'll take the over in this one. Over 53.5 first quarter, over 106.5 first half, over 216.5 for the game. Those first quarter and first half bets, if you're looking at a 220 total now, might be a little bit better play to play just those two in the first half and first quarter. Kuminga, we expect to get back on track tonight. Over 17.5 points, 20-plus points, over 25.5 par. Miles Bridges, we go back to the over 2.5 turnovers as that cashes an alarming rate. Brandon Miller, 3-plus threes and 4-plus threes. So one more time, this Hornets-Warriors matchup, over 53.5 total first quarter, over 106.5 first half, over 216.5 for the game. Kuminga over 17.5 points. Kuminga also 20-plus points and over 25.5 par. Miles Bridges over 2.5 turnovers. And then Brandon Miller for the Hornets, 3-plus threes and 4-plus threes on that one there. Next game up on the board, Pistons-Wizards. Aren't we all excited about this one as well? Pistons on the road at NDC, 3.5-point dog, total at 228. I'll be honest with you here, I don't like the side or the total in this game, so we're just going to play some player props in this one, and not many of them. Cunningham, 25-plus points and over 35.5 par. And then Corey Kispert has been cashing for us regularly when we play him. Over 16.5 points, 3-plus threes, and 4-plus threes. We like the Kispert always at 3-plus threes as long as the juice isn't out of control. It was only minus 150 on DraftKings. But they keep wanting to push to 4 or make the juice minus 200. It's going to be pretty rare when I'm going to play a guy for three-pointers at minus 200. but we do like him to get 3 on a normal basis. 4 is kind of where it seems to be where his limit is. Haven't seen too many games where he hit 5. So he doesn't take that many shots. But we do like the 3 and 4. So one more time in this Pistons-Wizards matchup. Cunningham, 25-plus points, over 35.5 par. That's points, assists, rebounds combined for those of you new to the show. And Kispert, over 16.5 points, 3+ threes, and 4+ threes. Next game up, 76ers, Cavs. Donovan Mitchell, game time decision. Darius Garland, game time decision. Don't know who's going to play, who's not going to play. 76ers, okay. I have not been impressed. They're going to be lucky to hold into the play-in tournament. They've surprised, teams as well. So they beat the Clippers in LA, played them tough at home. Now they got the Cavs coming to town. And we're sitting on a Cavs under win ticket too. So not trying to be too biased to that at under 50.5 wins, but this game, the Cavs should win this game. The question is, are they going to cover? Total at 212. I don't like the side or the total in this one either. So we're going to be playing player props in this one. We'll go back to the old reliable of Tobias Harris under 16.5 points and under 25.5 par. And another old reliable, Jarrett Allen over 16.5 points, 20+ points, and over 28.5 points plus rebounds. Jarrett Allen was our best bet a couple nights ago. Cleaned up on that one. And go back to Jarrett again. Jarrett's been pretty good for us all season long. As long as that point total doesn't get close to 20, where it's even money-ish at there, where you got some plus money at 20, I think there's definitely some value. Like he was plus 170 on FanDuel for 20+ points. But over 16.5 points at minus 108, that's a line we can live with. He scores ton of times in the teens, to mid-upper teens. So that's kind of right where he needs to be in order for us to bet that on a normal basis. But one more time in the Cavs and 76ers matchup, Tobias Harris under 16.5 points, under 25.5 par. Jarrett Allen over 16.5 points, 20+ points, and over 28.5 points plus rebounds. Next game up, 4:40 out here in Phoenix to 7:40 Eastern. Bulls traveling to Brooklyn to play the Nets. Bulls a 3-point road favorite, 215 total. This line has moved about a half a point since it opened on the total. This is where we're going to focus on this game. I honestly think the Bulls have played a ton of over games. The Nets don't have except for Claxton, don't have a ton of interest in playing defense either on this one. We're going to succumb to the Cam Thomas as well on this one, but let's get started with the plays here. Bulls Nets over 52.5 first quarter, over 104.5 first half, over 214.5 for the game. Cam Thomas 25+ points, DeRozan 25+ points, Mikal Bridges and Kobe White both for 3+ threes, and Dennis Schroeder over 2.5 turnovers. So one more time in this Bulls Nets matchup. Bulls and Nets over 52.5 first quarter, over 104.5 first half, over 214.5 for the game. Cam Thomas 25+ points, DeMar DeRozan 25+ points, Mikal Bridges 3+ threes, Kobe White 3+ threes, Dennis Schroeder over 2.5 turnovers. Next game up, Suns at the Thunder. Looks like SGA, he is doubtful for this game with that quad injury still after missing the last one. It's a shame. The Thunder probably would have been, I'd say they're a 2.5 point favorite if he's playing. The Suns, meanwhile, are a 2-point road favorite, 228 total in this one. The line's been pretty steady at that 228 number. The Suns have played a ton of under games, folks. There's a reason for it. They slow the pace down. Fourth quarter, they can't seem to score. This team's been an enigma all season long. It's just the way they've been. You just got to expect the unexpected with the Suns, and that's a pretty good way to bet it on that one. But they do one thing really well, and that's play games that go under the total. So we'll play Suns Thunder under 58.5 first quarter, under 117 first half, under 228 for the game. Chet Holmgren 2+ threes, as Nurkic is one of the worst 3-point defenders in the league. He does not want to come out to the 3-point line off the pick and roll. Expect Holmgren to get his shots off he should have plenty of opportunities from three, so only hitting 2. He has been cold from there, not going to lie, but 2+ threes for Holmgren. Josh Giddey, who's kind of taken over the playmaker role, over 27.5 par. And Josh Giddey, 6+ assists. Chet Holmgren, 2 more plays on him. We forgot, over 8.5 rebounds and 2+ blocks. This line it is juicy, -175 on DraftKings, but this line has come down. They've been wanting you to play 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and he continues to hit the 2 mark. So now they're finally back down to the 2. Nurkic over 1.5 turnovers. Bradley Beal over 1.5 turnovers. Reason for the turnover bets: Thunder turn you over a bunch. Bradley Beal's been really loose with the ball as of late. So has Nurkic on those plays there. So let's get back to those Suns Thunder bets one more time for you. Suns Thunder under 58.5 first quarter, under 117 first half, under 228 for the game. Holmgren 2+ threes, over 8.5 rebounds and 2+ blocks. Nurkic over 1.5 turnovers. Bradley Beal over 2.5 turnovers. Josh Giddey 6+ assists. It was plus money on FanDuel for you guys just to make sure that there was a lot of books headed at -110. And then also Giddey over 27.5 par. Next game up, Knicks Spurs. Knicks have done one thing all season extremely well, no matter how many people they're missing, and that is beat the bad teams. The Spurs are definitely fit in that category. Knicks are a 9-point road favorite, 213.5 total. They could hold San Antonio to 80 in this game, and it wouldn't shock me. So therefore, I'm a little nervous on the total, so we're going to stay away from that. We are going to play the Knicks in this particular game. Like I said, they have been masterful at beating the bad teams and covering against those teams as well. So let's get started. The Knicks-Spurs game here. Knicks -2.5 first quarter, -5 in the first half, -9 for the game. DiVincenzo, 20+ points, 5+ threes, 6+ threes. Last game, he still got to the 3 mark, didn't get to the points because McBride just went off for the threes. Don't expect McBride to have 2 games in a row like that, but I do expect DiVincenzo to keep hoisting him up. And San Antonio does not play good 3-point defense, as Victor doesn't block 3-pointers for the most of the time, as nobody really does. So expect DiVincenzo to have some run out there, 5+ threes, 6+ threes on that one there. Then we also like Wemby, 20+ points. His point total finally coming back down again. He's struggled here the last few games offensively. Defensively, though, he's still putting up what he's at a record pace. Wemby, 10+ rebounds, over 34.5 par, 4+ blocks, 5+ blocks. Jeremy Sochan, over 1.5 turnovers. And then we wouldn't be betting the Knicks unless we bet Josh Hart rebounds. So 11+ rebounds for Josh Hart. Love the kid rebounding-wise. Just watching him shoot just makes me, I just want to close my eyes. But that being said, he can rebound like nobody's business. So one more time in this Knicks-Spurs matchup. Knicks -2.5 in the first quarter, -5 in the first half, -9 for the game. DiVincenzo, 20+ points, 5+ threes, 6+ threes on that one there. Wemby, 20+ points, 10+ rebounds, over 34.5 par, 4+ blocks, 5+ blocks. Jeremy Sochan, over 1.5 turnovers. And Josh Hart for 11+ rebounds in that Knicks-Spurs matchup. Next game up, Trailblazers headed to South Beach to Miami. Heat laying 14 at home, 209.5 total. Woo-wee. I guess they expect the Blazers to score 90. Right around that point there. The Blazers have offensively, Simons has been out. Brogdon's been out. Jeremiah Grant's been out. But they have put up some points as of late. And we expect Miami to be able to score on them as well, even though Miami's been cold. But this is a good get-right game for the offense. So we do like the total in this one. We're going to take the over. So Blazers Heat over 53.5 first quarter, over 108 first half, over 209.5 for the game. DeAndre Ayton, 20+ points. Bam, over 17.5 points. Jovic for the Heat, 2+ threes. Bam, over 31.5 par as well. And then we like Scoot Henderson, over 17.5 points. And we'll actually take Scoot under 4.5 turnovers. That I know the kid turns the ball over 4 times a game, but this is a definite play by the book. They want you to bet the over here. It's a little bit of plus money for him to get 5 turnovers, but really, 5 turnovers is a ton. It does happen. Don't get me wrong, but we'll take him on the under 4.5 turnovers. He was cashing like crazy over 3.5, and now they want to bump that up there to try to stop the over better. It looks like. But we'll switch it and play the under on that one. So one more time in this Blazers Heat matchup, over 53.5 first quarter, over 108 first half, over 209.5 for the game. DeAndre 8 and 20 plus points. Bam, over 17.5 points and over 31.5 par. Jovic for the Heat, 2 plus 3-pointers, was plus money on DraftKings, just a heads up on that one. Scoot over 17.5 points and under 4.5 turnovers. Next game up, fighting for first place in the Western Conference. T-Wolves headed to the Nuggets in Denver. Denver laying 7, 213 total in this game. The Nuggets have played well. Got beat by the Suns a couple games at home. That rarely happens where they lose at home, especially in a couple weeks span. T-Wolves without Karl Anthony Towns. Naz Reid just shoots the ball, it seems like 100 times a game. Anthony Edwards is not like taken over and said, this is my team, I'll handle the offense. He defers still a little bit too much. He's had some 40-point games. He has some terrific dunks. He struggled a lot from the three-point range where a lot of teams have left him a little bit open. He struggled from there, even though he still has a really pretty stroke. But when you lose confidence in the shot, it makes it a little tougher. And it also makes his game a little more condensed. It's like him, like Zion. They know he's not shooting the three, so they give him 5 feet. But Zion has unbelievable finishing moves. It's almost like a bigger version of Kyrie, watching him finish at the hoop. So, it's just been a little bit of struggle for Anthony Edwards. He'll get there. I'm not worried about it. I think he's a future MVP in this league. Fantastic. Just overall, he's got all 3 levels of scoring, and he can play defense. The only issue is he turns the ball over maybe a little bit too much, but other than that, it's been really good. Gobert has been injured. Came back, played a couple games. He does not look fully healthy. That being said, we're not going to take a side here. I just think 7's a shade much in a low-scoring battle is what we're expecting here. So we're going to take the under, though, in this particular game. And like I said, 213.5. We did find it at 213.5 on FanDuel. So we'll take under 51.5 first quarter, under 103.5 first half, and under that 213.5 for the game. Jokic under 26.5 points. Anthony Edwards under 26.5 points. Anthony Edwards under 2.5 threes. Jokic under 47.5 par. Anthony Edwards under 36.5 par. And Anthony Edwards over 2.5 turnovers. I'm surprised to see him at 2.5 in this game. So let's go through the bets in this Nuggets T-Wolves game one more time. Nuggets Wolves under 51.5 first quarter. Under 103.5 first half. Under 213.5 for the game. Anthony Edwards under 26.5 points, under 2.5 threes, under 36.5 par, and over 2.5 turnovers. Jokic under 26.5 points and under 47.5 par. Like I said, we're expecting a low-scoring game. Hate to bet, the Stars, bet them under. I just, in a low-scoring matchup, just kind of play them to the under on that one there. Next game up of the day, 6:40 out here in Phoenix, so 9:40 Eastern. This is the game we're most interested in. This is the game we have the most bets on. Rockets, around a 7.5, 8-point favorite, 229.5 total, headed to Salt Lake City to play the Jazz. The Rockets have been on an absolute tear. We've been riding this train the whole time, and we're not going to stop today. Jalen Green, if they had a 10-game stretch for All-Star, Jalen Green would probably be your number 1 vote getter. He has been on fire. And this is when a lot of times he's struggled maybe in the first quarter, and then the last 3 quarters dominant. He's also playing a lot more minutes. Since Sengun's been out, this offense has been cooking. Van Vliet, please, Mr. Van Vliet, I understand you got paid a lot of money to come there. The best player on the floor is Jalen Green, not yourself. Van Vliet, I think you're a hell of a point guard. You can keep Jalen handling the ball maybe a little bit less and keep him at the 2. That's fine. But Jalen Green is your best player. Please remember that. Okay, now that being said, let's get to all the bets that we have in this particular game. We're going to take the Rockets, and we like the over. So Rockets -2.5 first quarter, -4.5 first half, -8 for the game. Over 55.5 first quarter, over 112 first half, over 229.5 for the game. We mentioned Jalen Green, him and Lauri Markkanen. We are all over in this matchup. Is that I'll be really honest with you, I don't know that the Rockets have a matchup for Markkanen that can stop him. I mean, Dylan Brooks can push you around, but he doesn't have the size to compete with Markkanen. So Jalen Green over 27.5 points. Jalen Green 30+ points. Jalen Green 35+ points. Jalen Green 4+ threes, 5+ threes, 6+ threes. Jalen Green over 38.5 par. Jalen Green for 2+ steals. Now, Amen Thompson, will throw him in there. 10+ rebounds was plus money on DraftKings. Then a bunch of Lauri Markkanen. So Lauri Markkanen over 22.5 points, 25+ points, 3+ threes. That was our best bet of the day as well. It was -140 on FanDuel. That's the cheapest I found it. We love betting him at 3 threes. It's when we get to 4 and 5, there needs to be some definite positive juice for us to play it. But we are playing Markkanen 4+ threes. It was +195 on FanDuel as well. Then we've got Markkanen over 32.5 par. We've also got Keontae George. Like what he can bring to the table in his speed. The problem is he turns the ball over way too much, over 3.5 turnovers. They have a very similar player in Colin Sexton. Sexton looks maybe to pass a little bit more than Keontae George does. That's basically the difference. I expect one of them to be traded probably in the offseason, as having two of the same player that can do a lot of the similar things. Sexton doesn't put up as many shots as Keontae George does, but pretty similar overall. So we'll go through all these Rockets and Jazz bets one more time. Rockets -2.5 first quarter, -4.5 first half, -8 for the game, over 55.5 first quarter, over 112 first half, over 229.5 for the game. Jalen Green over 27.5 points, 30+ points, 35+ points, 4+ threes, 5+ threes, 6+ threes, over 38.5 par, and also for 2+ steals. Then we got Lauri Markkanen over 22.5 points, 20+ points, 3+ threes, and 4+ threes, and over 32.5 par. And Amen Thompson, 10+ rebounds, and Keontae George over 3.5 turnovers. Then we get to the last game of the day, Mavs-Kings. Mavs favored by 1 in this matchup here. Kind of a different run since they just played, I believe it was Tuesday. On this one, they did play in Sacramento. So both teams had a couple nights off before playing this rematch here. Mavs, 1-point dog, 231.5 total. The total's basically the same. So if the Kings would have scored 100 points, ding, 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 this game goes over for every matchup. So that game finishes slightly under. Expect this one to go back over. The Kings, I don't think aren't going to be under 100 points again, and I don't expect Luka to be sitting for the fourth quarter in this one here. So we do like the total. Well, that's where we'll stay in this game. We like the Mavs Kings over 59.5 first quarter, over 118.5 first half, over 231.5 for the game. Sabonis 20+ points. Sabonis triple-double. Sabonis over 42.5 par. We like Luka for a triple-double. Luka for 4+ threes, as that came way down. And Luka 5+ threes. And then Kyrie, who had an off night the other night, we don't expect that to happen again. 25+ points, 3+ threes, and 4+ threes. So one more time in this Mavs-Kings matchup, over 59.5 total first quarter, over 118.5 first half, over 231.5 for the game. Sabonis 20+ points. Sabonis triple-double. Sabonis over 42.5 par. Luka 4+ threes, 5+ threes, and Luka triple-double was +210 on FanDuel. Kyrie 25+ points, 3+ threes, and 4+ threes. I know, we went through a ton of bets, right? So at the end of every show that we do, there will be a link in the comments section to our Google Sheets. This is a ledger of all of our bets. If you want to see what we did last night and how we came out on that one, or any of the college tournaments going, or NCAA tournament going on as well. We've played a lot of NIT as well in that mix. So if you want to see how those are all playing out, make sure you check out those Google Sheets. It'll read docs.google.spreadsheet, a bunch of other stuff behind it. It's on our YouTube page, so make sure you're there. Check that out. I know we're on a lot of social media platforms. Some of them don't allow the link, some do, so just FYI on that one. Make sure you check those out, and you can get all of the bets that we got going on for today that we just went through. And if anything updates or something voids out or like a player's not playing, we might substitute with that another bet. So make sure you keep those up to date closer to game time as well. And as always, if you could subscribe and get notifications to our YouTube channel, makes life extremely easy to find us once you hit that subscribe button. We'll be in your subscriptions tab with a little dot next to it, let you know there's a new episode of Sports Bets for Free. Or if you want to make life really simple, once you've hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on for YouTube. You'll get a notification to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped a new episode of bets. Give you plenty of time to match them up with your bets and give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and I do look forward to seeing you on the next episode.